Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. If you're just joining us, our focus has been on local authors. I've had the opportunity to interview plenty of writers over the years, and I've heard many say that writing a book is one of the most challenging and rewarding things they've ever experienced. It takes serious determination, patience, and hard work to just get it finished. My next guest probably can relate. Kwabena Antoine Nixon is a nationally known spoken word artist, educator, and activist who's here to tell us about his latest work. And Tanisha Bentley is a Milwaukee native who has just completed her first book. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you, Andrea?
I'm doing well. How are you, Kwabena?
I'm alive and well.
I am glad to have you both here. And starting with you, Kwabena, you were here a while back to promote your first book of poetry, I Write What I See. And you are back with sensitive war songs for Black and Brown Boys. Tell us more about it.
Well, over the years, the work myself and Kwabena and several of the men we work with, as we got to working, we would meet young men and they had a hard time opening up. And as we were working, we would get them to do poetry. The poetry, the poetry they wrote and spoke would talk to their sensitive side. But we said they were war songs. So I came together with that thought of these poems are sensitive war songs. The poems should have a sensitive side to them, but a masculine power, perseverance side, and that's what it is. It's letters, poetry, and stories about myself growing up, but translating and articulating the message of young Black and brown boys throughout the country.
Yes, and I will say this, your work is powerful in the sense that I can, one, feel the love for your father and the fact that he's no longer here on earth with us, but you still strive to make him proud. I felt that immediately in opening the book. And then also you writing about your experiences, where you were, when they happened, also forces the person who's reading to kind of think back where they were when you were going through what you were going through, and how we felt about our own experiences. And not everybody can achieve that in writing. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
And what I wanted to find out, we will get back to sensitive war songs in just a little bit, but Tanisha, I wanted you to tell us more about your book, $30,000 for a Wrongful Death. Now that title is interesting. Tell us more about it.
Yes, I was dating this guy for a short period of time, and I ended up getting pregnant. And unfortunately, my son's father was killed in a motorcycle accident. So I found myself involved in a legal battle.
Because of him being killed on the motorcycle and being the father of your son?
Yes.
Okay, so the legal battle was getting what was due to your child?
Yes.
Okay, so what made you make that the title? Because it really does get people's attention, because it makes you wonder, is $30,000 considered a lot or not enough?
First of all, I had to wrestle with the fact that it's hard to really put a price tag on someone when you lose your loved one. So $30,000 was actually what they awarded me.
Okay,
for the settlement.
All very interesting. And so with that tragedy, when did you decide that you were ready to write a book about it?
When I started having different situations and circumstances involving the case, I had a lot of tribulations with the lawyers, the judges, and the family members. So that's what encouraged me to write the book. Okay,
in hopes of helping someone else, or just kind of to, you know, give yourself a place to escape?
It was a way for me to heal and also to help others if they find themselves involved in a similar situation.
Yeah, and writing is all about healing, right?
Yes.
Because Kwabena, you were saying you and Muhib really put the young men that you work with on a daily basis, you put them in a scenario where they are able to write their feelings onto paper. And I remember when the two of you were here before, you had them write letters to the president, who at the time was, of course, President Barack Obama.
Our president.
And it was interesting. I read those letters, and it's amazing what the kids go through that some of us don't even realize they go through more than what we do as adults.
Yes, the trauma. And it's funny you say that because I just had this conversation with a colleague who says sometimes they are exaggerating what young people are going through this country. And I said, well, all you need to do is just walk outside. I don't think it's that much of exaggeration. The young people got a chance to be very transparent. And we offer that platform to, as you said, we're writing, to release and heal. You know, it's not, you're not grading anyone. You're not, we're not asking them to look at similes and metaphors. We're just saying express yourself. And I think as a writer, that's what we all do in the beginning. You just take a pen and go from left to right, or you type and get a rhythm. And when you look up 3 months, 6 months, you have a novel, a book, poems, or whatever it is. You just sit down and write and release. And that's the healing process for some, or the process for writing.
And so I said in the beginning of the show that a lot of the authors that I've talked to have said that, you know, sometimes they were put in a position where they had to procrastinate just a little bit and get back to their books or whatever it is they write. So did you guys find this as an easy or difficult process?
For me, it was easy. It did take me 15 years to complete it.
Really?
But like I said, due to the nature of the situation, different events kept occurring. So that's why the process.
And it was adding to your book over the years, I'm sure.
Yes.
What about you?
I think I just write. You know, Andrea, I just write.
That's what you do. So.
I just write.
Yeah.
And it's never a procrastination. It's just trying to make it priority. Because with the work we do, as you know, the speaking engagements, all of that, it's this part in the movie Jay-Z says in I think it's Fade to Black, where he says, don't stop the writing. If we're not writing, don't stop the music. We're not having music, we're not having any of this. So a lot of times, that's what it is for me. I wrote the book, Sensitive Warsongz. I went to Chicago for a week, found me a hotel, and I locked in there, and I didn't come out until I finished.
Wow.
You know,
I
went back and forth to the city, but it's just a discipline to say, hey, look, I need to do this. I don't need to do anything else. I just need to write. And that's really the process of it. I don't think it's a such thing as writer's block. As long as you're writing, you're writing. Now, going to get something perfect, that's a different story. But just take a pen to page and just write what you feel, and you can go back and fix it.
And I think that what you shared today, for those people who maybe have been thinking about it, or at least think they have a very exciting story to tell, whether it be fact or fiction, really, you can do it. And there's no time limit on when it has to be done. And if you are busy and working and have kids, then you get to it when you get to it, and when you're done, you're done. So everybody has a different drive. And I think that you both have shown where people can come from two different places and still achieve what their goal was, is to put their thoughts and experiences into words. And Kwabena, you write about a number of things in this particular book, Sensitive Warsongz. You go from your childhood in Chicago. There's some stuff about domestic violence to being black in America. What are you hoping that people take away from Sensitive Warsongz?
Well, first, I want every young African American and Latino boy to have this book in their hand. I'm going to give a $1,500 scholarship to my alma mater in Chicago, my high school. When I was a boy, I wanted to write, and nobody really paid attention. I want people, that's who I want to increase literacy with young men. When we've been having them read the book, I was in a class one time, I had to say, hey man, we got to get back to speaking. And I just want them to, and I also want people to really take me serious as a writer. A lot of people know me from the spoken word and community organizing, but I do want people to take me as a writer. The novel that I'm working on, 1984, I'm very excited about, because I am going to talk about what happened for black males growing up during the time of 1984, the big shift in our lives.
Yeah, and so being from Chicago, I know we've got our own issues here in Milwaukee, but it's got to be heartbreaking for you to see just the craziness that happens on a daily basis. Like over the Easter weekend, you had a record number of people who walked away injured from gun violence. So I'm sure, you know, just because you move away from a city doesn't mean you know, don't care or don't feel that connect. So you are very closely connected to what's going on here in Milwaukee, and I'm sure you still have that connect to Chicago. So with all of that said, what are your hopes? What can be done to put a stop to the madness?
Well, for one, I was supposed to be in Chicago this weekend to bury a young man. I saw him when he was born and saw him when he died. I think one of the things we have to do is everybody has to get involved and make it personal. A lot of times it's not personal to us until it hits home. Second thing is we have to make violence as an end thing. We have to make consciousness and living long an end thing. It has to be a legitimate campaign, and also resources in the community. A lot of times we'll go in and say they need to stop the violence. They'll stop doing one thing, but what do they do after they stop doing this? You know, so I just think those three things: economics, involvement, and making a campaign of positivity instead of showing the worst. Too many times they show the worst of what our young people are doing or what the city is like. It's good to, it's fair to report the death, but report the life. Because the death shows a depression. It's depressing when you watch it and you start thinking this is the only way it is. You have to start showing what the other side looks like also.
Thank you for sharing that. And Tanisha, I want you to give advice to somebody who's thinking about writing a book out there and getting it published.
First, believe in your story. There's no set blueprint on how to do it. You just start writing. Wherever you are, just start writing. Either pick up a notebook or sheet of paper anywhere. If you forget, write it down later. So that's basically
okay, and I think that's great advice. And I just wanted to read a couple of lines from two things that really stood out to me. You've got another gang story to tell. Mama said, don't hang with them boys. She said, go to church. So on a Friday night, I found some lords who worship every day. I say, Mama, they my friends. Grandma said, when it all fails, they won't be found. Then you ask questions, where's the Lexus? Where's the Benz? What happened to the money? It basically is telling that quick story of how when you're running with the wrong crowd, everybody's cool, they got love for you, but soon as you get, you know, put behind bars, then
phone calls. Forget
all about you. So these are stories really, and like I said, they're not long and drawn out. You get right to the point. And I think that young people and just people in general can relate to, or try to better relate to what they may not understand.
And we went after that. I think there's this whole section in there called the I Will Lynch You. And it deals directly with hip hop and what young people are feeling. Not just young people, but period.
Right.
Because I challenge an EMC now with the music they make to come into an area with us and tell us that what they're saying, a record company, is not directly affecting what our young people or what our community is doing, period. You know, you can't celebrate and say, I gave $1 million to stop violence, but some of the music, some of the acts and things you're doing are the very reason that it's happening. So I really got to cut into the point of where I wanted to talk to a certain population and say, look at us, take a look. And I'm not asking anyone else, I'm telling us to look at us. So that's where we're going, sensitive war songs for Black and Brown Boys. I really wanted to cut some places.
I love that. You did cut some places. I love it, and I can't wait to finish it. So as we wrap up, if you could, in 30 seconds, give somebody some advice on getting their work in between two covers.
Write every day. Write every day. You don't have to worry about copywriting. Go get your ISBN number, get you an editor. If you got $500, invest that in your book. You invest that in the book, you double your profit.
There it is. Doesn't get better than that. Thank you both so much for coming by, and I really do appreciate you guys sharing your thoughts and your experiences with us today.
Thank you.
All right. Kwabena Antoine Nixon is the author of Sensitive War Songs for Black and Brown Boys, and you can log on to sensitivewarsongs.com for more information. And Tanisha Bentley is the author of $30,000 for Wrongful Death. You can visit Amazon.com for more details on that. And that is going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.